It's all the way up. All right, let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about it.
Presidenta de Mexico,
Let's
Claudia
go.
Sheinbaum Pardo, signed 2 edicts into law, which are breathtaking to say the least. What she did and what she signed into the Mexican Constitution are 2 parts. The first part was that the indigenous people within Mexico of many different tribes will now have the ability to have their own sovereign nations.
Okay.
Now, bear with me here. So basically, a commission is set up to recognize those indigenous nations within Mexico and teach them and show them how they can rule autonomously and set up their own rulership over their own people, because there's a lot of indigenous different tribes within Mexico. The second part of that edict that was signed into the Mexican Constitution recognizes, and hear me out here, Afro-Indigenous. So, and that basically states that written into the Mexican Constitution, it is now law that the Afro-Indigenous are recognized as full citizens of Mexico and are afforded their indigenous status. And then she went on to state that Mexico recognizes that Afro-Indigenous people were on this continent hundreds of years before the Spaniards stepped 1 foot on the soil.
Bang.
It completely changes the narrative of what we've been taught. It completely changes the idea that Columbus was here and there's just Mexicans. It flips it right on its head. Everything is out the door. This is a very intelligent woman. And what she has stated are what people on different social media platforms have been saying for years. Black man was already here. The black man was already here. We didn't come in slave ships. That's not feasible. It would have taken too many ships. They would lose too many people. But if you're taken from Mexico and South America and taken off the coast and sat off the coast for a couple months and then brought up and dropped off in Boston, that makes it a hell of a lot more feasible, don't it? Afro-Indigenous were here hundreds of years before the Spaniards showed up. I'll put this into perspective. The English Bible, the most widely sold book in history, the Bible, New Testament, Old Testament, you can go back in that Bible to the beginning of time of man.
Okay.
Adam, Eve, his wife, conceived from the rib of Adam, and the Creator took that rib. Their children, Cain and Abel, and how that conflict and one brother slew the other. The creation of the earth, the waters, the fish in the deep, the firmament. Okay, enough Bible lesson for today. But yet we can't go back before Columbus. What was the black man's history? How did he get here? The Phoenician? The Israelite?
Hey, look, I'm going to let it play again. This time I'm going to do some interrupting. I just wanted to let it play uninterrupted. Love to critical _ thinking. 5,000 on IG, man. I mean, on TikTok. Shout out to the cons on TikTok, man. My TikTok cons. I know you was sweating. This lets us know we can't depend on these platforms, man, to build our community, because they can just wipe it out, right? So look forward to 432thedrop.com coming back better than ever. You know, love to my IT knockers behind the scenes working so hard to make sure we have a safe environment. You know, they're building 432, you know, not on a normal HTTPS servers. You know what I'm saying? It's very, very private the way they're doing it. And it's amazing, man. Love to my cons, man. Markel, what it do. And yeah, you know, it's like it takes a while, you know, it takes patience, but it's worth it because we're not in a position where we're just now trying to build a community that's going to rock with us wherever we go. You know, as a tribe, we already know we vibe. So, you know what I'm saying? We already know where home base is, man. And beyond YouTube, beyond Instagram, we know we're going to be dropping directly out of 432thedrop.com. You know what I'm saying? And you supported that from day one. And the wada to all our supporters, our tribe, our family, man. And this is what, you know, this is what we are preparing for, that we're not just dependent on these platforms, you know what I'm saying, that we can have our radio shows going directly out of 432 The Drop, man, you know, have our drop shop, you know what I'm saying, be interacting, you know, on a very secure level, you know what I'm saying. Love to my IT cons, we're building a brand new app that's going to be able to, you know, go live and have these functions as if you're on IG going live, but we're going to be going live on our own server and popping off our own platform and being able to connect, you know, in beautiful ways. So AI to my IT cons, man, and you know what I'm saying, AI to all my tribe being patient and allowing us to just pop off behind the scenes and getting the infrastructure A1 like the sauce, man. And let's let it play again. I know y'all saying a lot. Y'all having some really, really great comments popping off, man, you know, in this drop. And let me see if they put the comments on. Hey, look how slick they are, man. Look how slick they are. Normally you see the comments flowing. Let me reboot it and see if I get the comments. Dang, how they gonna block the comments though? Oh, there we go. There we go. Look at that. Look at that. Love to the cons. I mean, I know we got different titles, right? We know Octocton, Malik, Zadek, Tazadek, what it do? Team DNA, AI to the cons. There were no Africans over on Turtle Island. We know, right? We know, right? But we just are, I'm admiring the validation. For me, this is a victory lap. I want to say AI to the cons, man. Like, you know, Dane Calloway, been telling you, man. You know what I'm saying? Big Judah, been telling you, man. Cootie, man, yo, Natural, Yosef, all the cons, man. Templar, Irvin Reed, Ty Bat Zahn, been telling you, man. The cons been telling you, you know what I'm saying, that you ain't from their Africa, right? We got another definition. We understand what Afro is, right? So we gonna get, matter of fact, that's a good place to start. But I just want to say AI to the cons, man, because, you know what I'm saying, Lex Will, you know what I'm saying, we always give it up to anyone who was kicking, you know, the fundamentals, man. You know what I'm saying? Where you go with it is up to you. You know what I'm saying? How you rock, how you tribe up is up to you. But if you have the fundamentals, man, you know what I'm saying, knowing that they just found you here, boss, that this the old world, you got the fundamentals, UB News, what it do, you got the fundamentals, man. You know what I'm saying? Then you can dribble, man. You can cross over these hijacks, man. You can go to the lane, you know what I mean? And you can finish strong, So we all about finishing strong around here, man. So this is a victory lap. Also, Ahab, to you know, Nagas have been writing the great books like Ivan von Sertima, man. They came before Columbus, right? You know what I'm saying? Horace Butler, man. Hey, I know we had a rocky road, but Ahab to Horace Butler, man. Daniel Lowe. I mean, anybody talking about the forbidden histories of America is okay with me. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, I just appreciate all the recon in this decade that we've been here, cons, growing up together, right? You see me grow up. You know what I'm saying? You know, they would say grow old, but you know, to me, I'm growing young, man. I feel a rebirth happening, man. And I know you do too, because we're getting our ionized water, right? We're getting our hydrogen ion, you know, Naga charge, man. So this is a victory lap. Don't get too specific into what he keeps calling us black. Stop trying to find things to argue about. I mean, I get that we got knowledge, but stop being so argumentative all the time. Always trying to say, you know, something just to make people think that you smart in some way and you got some job. Look, man, we getting a validation. The validation is if the Afro-Mexican or the Afro-Indigenous in Mexico are getting their full rights finally. It lets you know that the racism and the classism and all this stuff is at an all-time high in America, equally or even more in Mexico. You know what I'm saying? What our Nagas going through it there. So it connects us to our Nagas across the plain, you know what I mean, that are found here. They didn't just get off a boat from Africa. Now, you want to go back hundreds of years? We know we're going back thousands. We know we're going back to the beginning, which is why he then had to connect it with the Bible, right? And bring you into who are you really? What's your story, black people, right? That's what he's saying. And that's what they're saying. The highest questions in academia is who peopled the Americas. So when you get into the Almanac and you get into who peopled the Americas and you tie that to the old world and you tie that to the biblical history and you tie that to the the Mongolian history, right? All this stuff, everything's connecting right back here. You tie the indigenous American history with the Hebrew biblical history, Manage. Now you go and ping pow all over the place. Now things are happening. Right now you tie in this Mongolian flow, this Genghis Khan flow, and you are out of here, boss. You out of here, baby. Woo. So we dropped this already. You got it uninterrupted. Right now you came here for the interruption because, you know, we're going to talk about it. Like when he says Afra, we know we're talking about natural by law. We're not talking necessarily Africa. Some people, you know, get it a little confused. You know, they think Afro has to do with African, the continent of Africa. And Afro is really, you know, more of a phenotype, you know what I'm saying? Who's growing the afros? You don't see a bunch of Africans necessarily rocking afros or rocking the locks, you know what I'm saying? My mom went to Nigeria. She's like, man, you know, I only saw like one person with locks out there. That's not really their thing like that. That's kind of in a, you know, indigenous American flow, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, we're tribal and we get along with all tribes, but, you know, unless you're hijacking us. If you don't let us be us, you're hijacking us. If you keep bringing us into some black hole of you African, and we're not, then you're hijacking us. But if you acknowledge our sovereignty, right, as Americans, as the Indians and Indian superior, right, as the autochtons, right, the originals, the naturals, natural by law, right, love to the con. The Nagas with restorative powers because they got the Aniya, the powers of the growth. Yeah, the essence, the being, born with the being, right? Born with the being, huh? The essence is the native, is the natural. Nature is the original. So if you're talking native, if you're talking native, you're talking original, you're talking OG, you're talking born with the being. Now, what's that? You tell me. What does it mean to be born with the being? To be natural by law is to have the being, right? Yeah, produced by nature. And nature, well, when you talk nature, now you're talking the creator. Because when you talk nature, you better be talking about the creator. My Naga. In a general sense, whatever is made or produced, the word comprehends all the works of God, the universe, yeah, the creator, the author. So you can't talk nature without talking HaWah, the creator. And you can't talk native without talking nature, which is the original. And you can't talk native without talking about the American, which is a native, born with the being, which happen to be the originals, or copper color Khans they found here, because the Khan in Hebrew means priest. So we just talking the priesthood. And who stole the priesthood? Whoever now wants to apply it to their descendants. Papu Boo, Doom Diverses, right? 1452. Apply this to our successors is to apply this to our descendants, to search out, vanquish, steal all your goods, movable and immovable. Take your kingdom, dukedoms, and principalities and apply it to their descendants, their successors. That's what it says in 1452. Pope Nicholas issued the papal bull, doom or dumbass diverses, right? Papal bulldogs to take down all y'all. Ravishing mammals issue Vatican papals, tricking Adam and Eve to bite the Vatican apple. The con is the con. They stole the con and applied it to their descendants. Or whatever hijacks are born here, like a parasite moves like a parasite. One of the top comments that kept coming in is, these people moving like a parasite, stealing these titles. So whether we talk American or we talk Mexican, we're still talking native. I said whether we talking American or Mexican, we're still talking native. Etymologies. So if I talk Mexican, I'm still talking native, boss. But now you're a native of Mexico. And the Meshi is the Moshe, is the Moses. And the Khans of Moses are the Meshikans, the priesthood of Moshe, which are the she, right? The XI is the Olmec, is the she. So when he's talking about Nagas being here before Columbus, you're talking about Olmec flow, man. You're talking about Texas Sylvanus, you know what I'm saying, Forbidden Histories of America flow. The Mashika, right? The Khans, the Meshikans are these Olmeca. What happens to the Olmec? What happened to the Olmec? They reclassified them as black men. And now these black men are getting their recognition. We don't need y'all to recognize us after all this time. But it does validate the recon after all this time. That whether you call it Afro-Mexican or Afro-Indigenous, you're talking about niggas. Niggas that's been battling on the front lines in social media and in real time telling niggas that, nah, we from here. We ain't trying to take nothing away from, somebody else. We ain't trying to, hurt nobody's feelings by claiming us, but you've been lied to about you and your origins and who you are. Unless you're native, right? Unless you're native, unless you're natural by law, well, now we're just talking nature, because that's the work of the Creator. Now we can talk Adam and Eve, right? Because that's the work of the Creator. That's the image of HaWah. We mean that they are produced by God the Creator when we talk nature. Well, that's what happens when you talk native, because you're produced by nature, the Creator, the original. So when he's saying, Columbus wasn't just here with just Mexicans. Well, just Mexicans is a misnomer, because a Mexican is a native. So a just Mexican is an original. And Columbus did come here and see these originals. They still want a title for themselves, so they're separating us off and breaking us off into Afro, right? And of course it's offensive, but we understand. They just holding on to something. They holding on to American, right? They can't call us American. We gotta be African American. We can't be native and original to America, even though we're the copper colored races brought here. No, found here, boss. You found so many of us, we the definition. And you found so many natives of Mexico that they're the Khans. They're the Meshikans, the Khans of Moshe, Moses. And ain't most of America's called Mexico in these old maps? So it's all one thing. And if the natives are being recognized there, then perhaps the natives will be recognized here. And that shouldn't offend anyone who's claimed to be native all this time. You should want your brothers to get recognized and sisters to be recognized. You shouldn't be, oh no, black people trying to take our titles. Oh no, these black people. You guys want everything. How can we want anything else other than what's been taken from us? And if everything's been taken from us, then damn it, we want everything. Because everything's been taken from these copper-colored races. Last time that I checked, right? Pope Nicholas V issues the Papal Bull, Dum Diversis, June 18, 1452, authorizing Alfonso V of Portugal to reduce any Saracen. They say Muslim, but we know that's in their parentheses. We're just talking about a people of a promise. We're talking about the originals, right? The An Rus, huh? So if you're rocking in the Presta series, you understand what a Saracen is. When they say this word, you understand they're just talking about you. And when we talk about Israel, they're talking about the lost tribe of Israel identity. Boss, right? Now we see. Whether we're talking Russia, which is named after the Rus, but that's also connected with the Presta here. And it's you. Afro, right? So when he says Afra, and we hear Saracen, and I say it's all been taken from these copper-colored Nagas, these Saracens, or these Israelites, because not all black people went into this slavery. It's black on black since Cain and Abel, right? Since Edom and Jacob, right? The twins, right? Everything's been taken from these Saracens, right? And they put these Nagas, called them unbelieving in their Jesus, right? Their Zeus, Zeus, and put us in perpetual. That means forever. You think you're going to be in slavery forever? Has there ever been a kingdom that reigned forever other than the Creator's promised kingdom? So I don't believe in their perpetual kingdom, and I don't believe in perpetual slavery, do you? I believe in Nagas wakey, popping off. When the slumber is off, when the spirit of stupor is off, when we have, outgrown the Ruach Tardy Ma because we keep the code. We grew up, right? We on Kum, right? So this same Pope wrote the Bull Romanus Pontifex on January 5th, 1452 to the same Alfonso. As a follow-up to the Dum Diversis, it extended to Catholic nations of Europe dominion over discovered lands. So wherever they go, they got dominion because the Catholic says so. Along with sanctifying the seizure of non-Christian lands, if you don't believe in their Zeus, they can take your land. Does that make sense? Parasitic, right? Hijack city. It encourages the enslavement of natives. It encourages the enslavement, Managa, of originals. We're talking Saracen, right? Huh? Last time I checked, we was still talking Saracens. So they can take all non-hijacked lands, right? Whether you're in Africa or the New World. And like I said, don't get thrown off by this Afra title, because the Afra is just the earth, man. Africa. And these are Mexican Moorish maps, it's Northwest Africa is America, but the Afra, right? Afra is the earth, man, the dust. So they're saying you're from the earth over there, you're from the earth over there. The Afra is just the dust. The Afra is just the earth. So you're Afro-Indigenous, you're of the earth. Original to the earth. That's basically what they say. So don't get thrown off by the Afra. We're just talking dust, we're just talking earth. But let's go. We're talking natural, which is, means you got the being according to nature. Natural forces. Yeah, okay. So a native to Mexico is an original with natural forces, is a Saracen, right? And these are the Nagas that are now getting their full rights. Well, look, now you want to teach them how to be a tribe and micromanage their rulership and yada, yada, yada. Okay, well, look, with recognition comes land. So I'll take the recognition if you're giving land. I ain't gonna front on some, thousands of acres of land that you're supposed to be giving back, millions of acres of land that you're supposed to be giving back. I ain't gonna front on that. I'll take your recognition, but I won't take your micromanagement. If it comes with you micromanaging us and being able to walk on our land anytime you want to and act like you're trying to teach us something, I want to teach you how to grow some corn. Hijack, you better get off this land. We don't want no tainted land. We don't want no crooked deals, right? We're going to get our land back anyway. So whether you nice about it or not, it's all happening. We ain't tripping. We ain't tripping. But we the Saracen. And they literally have this decree to take everything. So when I say everything's been taken from these Nagas in Mexico and in America and all across the earth, that you just wanted their stuff, and because they don't rock with your Christianity, that means they're non-Christian, and therefore you can enslave them. You can seize all their land. In your age of discovery, you didn't discover nothing. People are already here. You're late to the party. You came to invade. What invasion lasts forever? We weighing all in singular the premises with due meditation and noting that since we had formerly by other letters of ours granted above other things free and ample faculty to the aforesaid King Alfonso to invade, search out, capture, vanquish, subdue all Saracens. And pagans whatsoever, and other enemies of Christ wheresoever place in the kingdoms, dukedoms, principalities, dominions, possessions, and all movable and immovable goods whatsoever held and possessed by them to reduce their persons to perpetual slavery. We talking about you, right? Last time that I checked, and to apply and appropriate to himself and his successors their kingdoms? You mean descendants? Born in the man. You mean the copper-colored tribes you just found here? So you could take their kingdom now? You might say, what kingdom, boss? Hold up, we'll be back. I'm gonna let it run again. I just got, I started popping off. You know how that, how drop goes sometimes. I just started popping off, because we're talking about the kingdom, man. Love to natural by law, man. My Naga. What kingdom? Do you see the kingdom of this Naga in Florida, boss? Americana, huh? Do you see the kingdom in America? Do you see the kingdom in Florida? So they took the kingdoms, the dukedoms, the counties, the principalities, the dominions, the possessions and goods, and converted them to their use and profit. They feel like they've justly done it, lawfully done it. And the Admiralty hijacked maritime law, right? And acquired and possessed these islands, lands, harbors, and seas. And seas, boss? Nah, man. Nah. So you take everything, you zap it down like the California wildfires, so-called. You shoot these things up with your energy weapons, and now you build on top of it, and you dam up the place and block the waterways and change the terrain into deserts all over the place. And they give it to the king and his successors. And they think they can just keep on going. Doctrine of discovery, age of imperialism, age of discovery. So this is what the Chickamauga were fighting. No treaties for the hijack, because this is what the hijack, this is their little war documentation. You know what I'm saying? This is their documentation this is their declaration of war on the Saracen. On the Roos. On the Roos, man. Hey, okay. Told you we popping off. So the Mexican and Native has a kingdom, and when they call them Afro-Mexican, we're just talking about the dust, and we're just talking about the earth, being of the earth. But we originals, and us claiming our title shouldn't shake the world up like it does, but it does, because the whole world been living in the matrix, right? In a lie. The indigenous Nagas and all these, Central Americas and North and South Americas specifically, are the copper color races found here, right? Of different old school biblical tribes. You have some rocking with the Prester, you got some rocking against the Prester, right? You got some with David, some against David. Moab and them, they against David, right? Psalms 83. But they still look very similar to you and me. Because we cut from the same cloth. You're still talking Shem. You know what I mean? You're still talking Americans. But it's all happening right here at home. And this is part of the story that they're just catching up to. We understand what's going on. We see clearly. You know what I mean? We're just talking natives, man. So, with that perspective, because we're going to get back into it, look at some articles. I want to get into some Isaiah, if you don't mind. Read some Isaiah. Just fall out and zone out today, if you don't mind. I know it's a lot of static in the energy that they're trying to bring in 2025. These smart cities, we've been digging on it. But my Naga, we frequency up. And we see them just catching up. And we appreciate the validation on such a high level in their politics. Because if they recognize the native of Mexico, the Afro-Native, the Afro-Mexican, they have to follow suit here, I'm saying, sometime soon, where they're going to say, oh, these African Americans are actually Americans. Ain't that crazy? No, it ain't crazy, boss. You wrote it in 1828, Noah Webster Dictionary, but you still been playing with this color game, with this copper. Oh, now everybody's copper. Now there's depictions of darker skinned, so-called natives now all over the place. You know what I'm saying? They trying to squeeze into the copper category as much as you can. But you know who we talking about, boss. You can't play with us for too much longer. Nagas need a country of their own. Is that okay? What's wrong with y'all hijacks, man? If the Chinese could have China, they all could look at the Chinese phenotype and say, yeah, okay, you're Chinese, I get it. You belong in China. Why can't this Naga have America, right? Why can't this Naga have a country of his own, since we know it's not Africa, Northeast Africa over there, right? A Mexican over there. Why can't this Naga found here have his homeland, her homeland, without you trying to gentrify it up and make it a melting pot, no matter how you try to do it? We know this was Atlantis. We know we had other creations popping off here. We know we had false gods popping off here. We know we had Egypt popping off here. We know it's all happening. We had the Star Wars happening right here. The Jedi is the Judah. We get that. But overall, you're going to have to give these Nagas their land, or the Creator is going to come hard on you. You know what I'm saying? Trying to hold these Nagas back from the promised land. You feel me? Now, you can graft your way into the tree, but understand that there's a tree with roots and a foundation that has nothing to do with you or your ancestors. If you over here hating on a copper-colored confound here, as if they're trying to take something from you. Don't you understand? These are the Saracens, and everything's been taken from them. This wasn't war against the so-called Native American phenotype of today. This wasn't war against the so-called Mexican phenotype of today. This wasn't the war of the so-called Central American phenotype of today. We know they got a lot lighter. We know they got a lot more European looking, even though we know that the European is originally swarthy. And that's another thing. I was going to get to this later. But when we talk about copper color and you know, dark skin, whatever, you know, we talking swarthy, right? And let's just nail this over the head bone quickly. We're talking dark color, we're talking copper color, we're talking tawny. Back to the Benjamin Franklin Observations of Mankind, 1751 drop, right? Where Benjamin Franklin said, don't send no more sons of Africa over here. It's already wholly swarthy. America is wholly so. Wholly swarthy. All of America's already dark colored, tawny. Benjamin Franklin Ben told him that. Why are we so surprised now? And the swarthy, you know what I mean? If you look it up in the 1828, the swarthy is the tawny again, or the dark, is the Moor, is the Spaniard, Manaya. So you don't have no blonde, blue-eyed, whatever, or, you know, Caucasian so-called, you know, I don't know what to call these people no more. Because if you're not the Spaniard and you're not the Italian and you're not the European, I don't know where your homeland is. I'm not really trying to investigate where you're from. I'm trying to investigate where I'm from. I'm on an investigation that happens to turn up all stones, and everyone goes running because they've been hiding under these large 12 stones of Joshua, man. But we talking promised land. We the swarthies, we the copper-colored cons you found here. You might, some call us the Moors, right? But the Moor means great, so you got to specify which greats. And if you're not rocking with the code of the Creator of this earth and heaven above, if you're not putting the Most High over everything, and you over here worshiping these other fake gods and these other tribal situations, that's not the greats. You're just mimicking greats. That's not the Arab. That's not the Arab proper, right? That's the Arab pretenders, right? That's the mustard rab, right? There's a difference between an Arab proper, which is why even on the Andrews crest, or not the crest, but what they are explaining here, they say an Arab tribe, and that's why we had to make that distinction 1,000 times, that there's an Arab proper and there's an Arab not proper. And when you talk Arab, you got to talk Choctaw, which means you're talking Yucatan, and now we back to Mexico, which is why he brought it back to the biblical stuff. He brought it back to the biblical stuff. We're going to get it again. But you're talking about the progenitor of the 13 Arab tribes, which have nothing to do with the Arabs of the day. Asmarveth, Sheba, Ophir, these are cities of gold, my nigga. So this son of Eber, the Hebrew, this is who we're talking about when we talk Arab, the Khatan, the Cathay, right? The Arabs are the Arab proper. But the Ishmaelites and these other tribes pretending, they're just pretending to be Arab because they're not of original Arab stock, which means they don't come from the tribes that were given the law, the statutes, and the commandments. They're over there having remixes to it, claiming that they got some enlightenment to it, and now they're taking the title Arab, but they're of non-Arab stock. Who would know, right? Who would know unless you went a little deeper? They had to intermarry after pretending to be Arabs. They had to intermarry, adopt our customs, adopt our Hebrew flow, right? Intermarry with our Hebrew sisters, right? So that they can get some land rights, so that they can say, well, this is grandma's land, but grandma was forced into this marriage because you conquered and stole and, you know what I'm saying, hijacked and committed genocide and stole these women, raped these women, and now you force them into marriage so you can steal their land and have some type of matriarchy, have some type of, you know what I'm saying, what happened to the seed? What happened to the, to take the man out the equation is to take the seed out the equation. The noon, right? So they kill off the men, take the women, now they intermarry and form genuine Arabs. That's how you form a genuine Arab, is to force this intermarriage and adopt our customs and pretend, even though you're non-Arab stock, not originally, we're talking natives, we're talking originals. Ishmael, ain't he part of the Psalms 83 Confederacy against the treasured ones? So these niggas can't have a treasure of their own? Joshua and them can't have land? Moses can't have a land of his own without some other groups of people saying, but we have ties to America too. My great-granddaddy came here. Come on, boss. Come on. You know what we saying. We saying we originals. And I know that shakes the whole world up. I know you don't want to hear it, but that lets you know how much hate you really have for us, how much hate you have for the originals, that you don't want these people to have a land of their own, a beautiful land flowing with milk and honey. You've been hating on that since biblical times. You like calling us black. You like us being African American. But the Africans ain't accepting us like that over there, to where they're, hey, please come. You know what I'm saying? You got some cool Nagas, you know what I'm saying? But that's just not how it goes. We ain't got no boats taking us back over there. We ain't got no war happening. They didn't come slide for a Naga over here and say, you stole millions of Nagas off these boats from Africa. We gonna slide on this corporation of America. They ain't never slid for us. They ain't never slid for us. They ain't never come looking for us. That lets you know that we ain't them. Cause I believe, you know what I'm saying, that they ain't no punks, right? I believe that they would slide for their own people. I believe that the ones that they did sell out of Africa were other tribes out of Africa, and even Africa apologized. Their chiefs are apologizing about the transatlantic slave trade because they were selling Hebrews out of Africa. Dark-skinned Hebrews that you would call black African American, that they were being sold out of Africa, but most were found here because they from here. And this is what we're talking about with Afro-Mexicans or Afro-Americans. We're talking about natives, Nagas. We're talking about original, you know what I'm saying, American, autochthonous Nagas, man. All right? Now, we rock with everybody. You know we got a big heart. We don't care what you look like, but don't come over here acting like you are us because you rock with us. And you deserve everything we deserve because we cool and you rock with us. You're going to have to back, man. And you're going to have to push for these Nagas more than you pushing for yourself if you rocking with us. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have to push for these Nagas to get their stuff back more than you're pushing to get whatever you think these Nagas is going to get. Because that gives you some type of ulterior motive behind the situation. You just want our things? That's why you helping us? Oh, you just want to be safe? You know, you just want to, you know, benefit with whatever we got? Like, what is it, man? Where's your people? How come you ain't rocking with your people? You rocking with us for a reason. Make it love, not hate. Because some people that hate you will try to graft into you too. It's not, I don't know if they knockers, but you know, there's people that dislike every single video I've ever done since 2016. Why do they watch the video? Why do they dislike the video? After all these years, why do they even watch? They cling to this channel just to hate. And some people gonna cling to your family just to try to tear your family down. You know how that goes. All skin folk ain't what? Kinfolk. And all kinfolk ain't what? Confolk, man. Skin folk ain't kinfolk, and kinfolk ain't confolk. And the con is the priest. The swarthy cons. The Spaniards are swarthy. The cons is the priest. And they stole the con and gave it to their descendants. And in the Papal Bull, they say they stole it and gave it all to their successors. Damn, damn, damn. I mean, do I gotta pull up that picture of Montezuma so you can see the kingdom behind him? Do I gotta do it? Yeah, maybe I should. Why not? We're talking Arabs. Yeah, because they're calling you an Arab tribe. But that don't mean you're Middle East, da-da-da-da-da. This is the Arab, mean this is the a rabbi. A rab is a rabbi, a rab in Hebrew. A rab is a lawgiver. A lawgiver has the law of the creator. And that makes you Israel, right? Because it's in your heart bone. And this is what they wanted to destroy. Their fundamental questions coming here is, how do we convert these Indians to Christianity, right? How do we convert these Hebrews? They knew you were Hebrews, which is why Columbus brought a Hebrew interpreter, Louis Torres, right? He came speaking Hebrew to get to you. And that ain't no play. He came speaking Hebrew. He had an interpreter speaking Arabic and Hebrew. Why? Because he knew where he was at. He knew where he was at. But we're just talking Arab. Proper boss. Yeah. You're the proper, which means you have the law of Eber, right? Joktan or Yucatan, which God is talking Mexico. Wow. Hey, man. Montezuma. How you spell that? Montezuma? Painting. Let's see how long it takes to find this. Montezuma painting. Original. Boom. Let's just see. It wasn't too bad. I thought it was gonna be worse, man. Let's try this 1671, but again, look at the kingdom behind him, and this is the point. This is the point. Look at the dragon around him, right? Look at that dragon, and that dragon has these towels, all right? This X is the Hebrew tau, which means the covenant, the mark, the sign. And look at the kingdom behind him, right? And the kingdom behind this Nagayi. And understand they came to subdue these Nagas into perpetual slavery. Perpetuals forever. Yep. And appropriate to himself his successors in the kingdoms and dukedoms, dominions, principalities, goods, movable and immovable, convert them to his and their use and profit. They just took it all, man. They took it all. That's why they got to give it back. They came, look at these. See, very similar towers and ether weapons. These are all ether cores, free energy. They call them the world fairs and destroyed them. But you got to knock in front of this one, and you got to knock in front of that one. And you tell me, you don't see clearly? You come from Africa, boss, who built these kingdoms? Look at these ether antennas on these buildings. Tell me who built these kingdoms, man. Come back home, Saracen, Sarah's sons of Sarah and Abraham. Tribes of Israel, they call Sarah's sons. They want to subdue all Sarah's sons. Invade all Sarah's sons. Capture, vanquish, search them out in their smart cities. Take the kingdoms, right? So let's keep going, man. Hey, I mean, like I said, this is validation. Ain't nothing but some validation going on. Validation pies, validation enchiladas. And while we're talking about the papal bull, what they got going on in Vatican City where they got to tear stuff out the wall? You know, what are they preparing for that they like, hey, remember that thing we put in the wall? It's time, boss. It's time, boss. We got to get this out the wall, boss. Oh, shucky ducky. What's in the box, Jack? What's in the box? It look like a lightsaber, man. What's in the box, man? I see some papers, some manuscripts, a little scrolls or something, man. What's in the box, man? Hey, this is who put the papal bulldog on us, man. Right? Tell me if it's play. I don't think so. Papal bulldog to take down all y'all. That's what they want. Subdue. One more time.
Presidenta de Mexico, Claudia Sheinbaum Pardo, signed 2 edicts into law, which are breathtaking to say the least. What she did and what she signed into the Mexican Constitution are 2 parts. The first part was that the indigenous people within Mexico of many different tribes will now have the ability to have their own sovereign nations. Now, bear with me here. So basically, a commission is set up to recognize those indigenous nations within Mexico and teach them and show them how they can rule autonomously and set up their own rulership over their own people, because there's a lot of indigenous different tribes within Mexico. The second part of that edict that was signed into the Mexican Constitution recognizes, and hear me out here, Afro-Indigenous. So, and that basically states that written into the Mexican Constitution, it is now law that the Afro-Indigenous are recognized as full citizens of Mexico and are afforded their indigenous status. And then she went on to state that Mexico recognizes that Afro-Indigenous people were on this continent hundreds of years before the Spaniards stepped 1 foot on the soil.
And we know we originals, right?
It completely changes the narrative.
Hell yeah. As far as the lie, that made people of a certain phenotype tribe up and feel like, this is our land. We're the Aztecs. We're the this. And we're like, yo, just look at look at your own walls. Look at your own caves. Look what's happening, you know what I'm saying, with all these locks and, you know what I mean? And then we go to China and we see Buddha, and Buddha got locks too. And we're like, man, there's knockers with locks all over the earth, man. That's what we're talking about, Afro. Now we're talking Afro, right? Because Afro is the earth. Afra is the earth, man. Affair, right? Now we see clear.
Of what we've been taught. It completely changes the idea that Columbus was here and there's just Mexicans.
Nah. We can't do that no more, because a Mexican is say it with me, a native. A Mexican is a native. We can't do that no more. Just like an American is a native. You can't be American if you're not native, according to their own definition in their own dictionary. You can't have it both ways. You can't know that this is the definition, know who's here, and then say, we found you here, but we're going to apply that title now to our descendants born in America. We're going to apply that title now to our, successors. We're going to appropriate to himself and his successors. We're going to now apply to the descendants. To appropriate, Managa, is to apply, man. It's the same language. We caught them slipping. So to be a Mexican is to be a native. To be an American is to be a native. And if you're a native of America, then you're the same as a native of the Mexico. And that's the body bag for the illusion. And we're not here to step on no toes. I hope that you would, instead of saying, hey, don't take our titles, don't be, culture vultures on us. Black people just want everything. You need to understand that these black people got everything taken and put in slavery perpetually to them. These black people now have been converted in many ways in these churches every Sunday. But their kingdoms are gone. Their possessions are gone. Whether it's movable or immovable, boss, their goods are gone and possessed by the hijack, and they've been reduced to slavery. And they've applied or appropriated, now applied, they've applied or appropriated, to apply and appropriate to himself. Take it and give it to yourself. What kind of hijack rule is this? Hijack City, rule number 364. Whatever you find, you keep, and you take it and you appropriate it to yourself. And give it to your children and people that you want to pass it down to. And make sure you keep it in your family. If it wasn't important, if these goods weren't important, they wouldn't have possessed them. If this land wasn't important, these dominions and possessions weren't important, these dukedoms and kingdoms, if they weren't important, you wouldn't have had to steal them. If we weren't powerful, you wouldn't want us to be your forever slave. Not because we can work hard, but because you can't have us in power, because that makes you our slave. But now we're talking Isaiah chapter 11. Oh, yeah. I mean, right? I'm not kicking stuff without receipts, man. We've been doing this a long time, and it just flows, right? Because obviously we've been doing this a long time. Yeah. They wanna hijack the shoot of Jesse, and the shoot of Jesse is the shoot of Dawu. But there's gonna come forth a shoot, right? A branch, a frequency started back with the house of Jesse, the house of David. A twig shall grow forth out of his roots. You want us to be uprooted. You grafting into a tree, but you don't respect the roots, right? The spirit of HaWah shall rest upon him, the spirit of wisdom, mama, understanding, the spirit of counsel and might, the spirit of knowledge and the fear of HaWah. And his delight shall be in the fear of HaWah, and he shall not judge after the sight of his eyes, neither decide after the hearing of his ears, but with righteousness shall he judge the poor, and decide with equity for the meek, right? The meek shall inherit the earth. Are you shocked that the meek, or those that have been beat down to perpetual servitude, slavery, will inherit the earth, the dust, the Afir, the Afro, Americas, and everything else? Does that make us culture vultures? That we are the meek that have been beat into meekness because we put our arrows down, right? I'm not saying we weak, but we've been beat until we were meek, right? Until we were controllable, until they can put us in these churches and make us, idolize whatever they are, right? Brainwash us, Hollywood us up, iconoclast our images, divide and conquer us. And he shall smite the land with the rod of his mouth. HaWah! And the breath of his lips shall he slay the wicked. HaWah! And righteousness shall be the girdle of his loins, and faithfulness the girdle of his reins. And the wolf shall dwell with the lamb, and the leopard shall lie down with the kid, and the calf and the young lion and the fatling together, and the little child shall lead them. And the cow and the bear feed, and the young one shall lie down together, and the lion shall eat straw like the ox. So it's all good, man. It's unity happening. And the suckling child shall play on the hole of the asp, and the weaned child shall put his hand on the basilisk den. They shall not hurt nor destroy. And the asp is like the dragon. You remember Baruch, the book of Baruch, I think it was chapter 73, maybe. It talks about how the children, that's what this little child thing reminded me of. Maybe I'm just popping off. Don't mind me, man. I just want my kingdom back. We just popping off. We still got that up here, this Baruch, book of Baruch, man. Yeah, chapter 73. Second Baruch, chapter 73. HaWah, HaWah. And it will happen that after he has brought down everything which is in the world, and has sat down an eternal Shalom on the throne of the kingdom, and then joy will be revealed, and rest will appear, and then health will descend and dew, and illness will vanish, and fear and tribulation and lamentation will pass away from among men, and joy will encompass the earth, and nobody will again die untimely, nor will any adversity take place suddenly. Unjust judgment, condemnations, contentions, revenges, blood, passion, zeal, hate, all that slide on my brother stuff, all that hating on your brother stuff is gone, man. Hating on your sister is out of here. And all such things will go into condemnation, since they will be uprooted. We're talking about the root, right? The root of Jesse, right? Isaiah 11. For these are the things that have filled this earth with evils, and because of them, life of men came in yet greater confusion. And the wild beasts, we're talking the end of days, man. The wild beasts will come from the wood and serve men. And the asp, remember the asp? Isaiah 11. And the asp and the dragons, right? So when you talk asp, you're talking dragons. Whether we're talking, dragons with wings and dragons without wings, you know what I'm saying? Large snakes, whatever you want to talk about. But you're pretty much talking dragon talk when you talk asp that will come out of their hole. So they said the child's going to play in the hole, right? And the hole has to do with like the caves, like the dragon lair, right? Like the dragon lairs, right? To play in the hole, of the dragons would be to play in their hiding places, right? And subject themselves to a child. And doesn't it say over there that the little child shall lead them? Confirmation, validation. You want precepts on precepts, boss? Get them out your heart bone. You ain't got to follow, some Masoretic or, theologians that put their versions of our scriptures, this KJV, together and say, these are your precepts. You find your precepts. And the cow and the bear feed, and their young ones shall lie down together. So the cow, the bear, everybody's lying down, everybody's chilling. And the sucking child, the baby shall play on the hole of the ass, which is like the caves. Like the baby's gonna feel so safe that they can just play in the dragon lair, man. You could be like, hey, man, where's our little Chucky at, man? A little Chucky over there, man, in the dragon lair. He's in the hole, right? He's in the hole. Why? Because the dragon's gonna come. The dragons, right, are gonna come out of the hole to serve that child, to subject themselves to a child. And whether you're talking about a physical baby child or we're just talking about the children of Israel, the children of Israel, the treasured ones that are like suckling babies, just learning how to walk again with the code they keep, right? Tribe up again. And the weaned child shall put his hand on the basilisk's den. So, whoa. Again, we're talking dragon lairs. I mean, what's a basilisk, right? Translators be translating, man. We got to figure it out. What? I'm out of here, boss. I'm out of here, boss. I'm not even going to click on it. I'm so out of here, I can't click. What? American? I can't make this up, boss. Is this body bag number 3,462,193, boss? Not only are you talking about a dragon with the fatal breath and the glance, but any of several crested tropical American lizards. This is an American dragon. My naga, this is Phineas, man. Free Phineas, man. Free Phineas, man. Hey, can I get some dragon emojis in the comments, man, for the American dragon that is the basilisk? That's right there in Isaiah chapter 11. Come on, boss. We didn't know that we're talking dragon, but this child can put their hand on the dragon's den. Like I said, when you talk asp, this is what you're talking, dragon talk. And we got the confirmation in 2nd Baruch, chapter 73. I wasn't expecting no dragon drop. I know we've been missing our dragon drop. We've been getting some fundamentals before we got back to it. And I'm glad we're here talking dragons again. And the child that will be, respected by this dragon. I don't even want to say served, right? But this child will be respected. This dragon will submit themselves to a child. I said every naga got a dragon. Every encode naga got a dragon. That's your kundalini rising, right? Do you feel it, man? The Kundalini, huh? The Kundalini. And women will no longer have pain. My sisters, we talking paradise, right? When they bear children. Nor will they be tormented when they yield the fruits of their womb, man. No more labor pains. No more pains for the aqua. Halal HaWah. Can I get a wah for the cons, man? So the wild beasts come from the woods and serve men. And the aspen dragons will come out their holes to subject themselves to a child. We're talking paradise, where there's going to be a healing dew, a dew of health to cure all illnesses because they will vanish. No more fear, no more tribulation, only joy. Shout out to Joy World. HaWah. Every Naga got a dragon, man. The dragons will come out of their holes to subject themselves to a child. And the weaned child shall put his hand on the dragon's den. The basilisk den is the American dragon. Con, body bag for the illusion. I'm having too much good of a time over here, man. I didn't know that the basilisk was specifically an American dragon. We didn't know. We talking American dragons, which lets us know we talking American prophecy. We talking old world prophecy, right? They put the eagle on it. But we know, hey, all these are our, creatures, man. All these are our homies, our people, man. Whether we talking eagles, they hijack the eagle, they hijack the dragon, they hijack everything. They shall not hurt nor destroy in all my holy mountain, for the earth shall be full of knowledge of HaWah. I see the people getting more knowledgeable, but guess what? It comes with pain and growing pains and labor pains when you get this knowledge sometimes, especially if you have been lied to. Don't come snapping at us like we trying to take something from you. We're the ones that everything was taken from. Everything, boss. The entire kingdom. But we're also the ones that's waking up and the kingdom is returning too. And as we do, don't be on the wrong side of things. Don't be on the wrong side of his story. In all my holy mountain, for the earth shall be full of knowledge of HaWah as the waters cover the sea. Man, the root of Jesse is Dawid. Halal HaWah. The hijack wants to cling to the house. Isaiah 14, the hijack wants to cling. For HaWah will have compassion on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land, and the stranger shall join himself with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. But don't cleave so hard that you hurt us, right? Don't cleave so hard that you're jealous, because now you're out of code, because you're not supposed to have no covetous in your heart. Don't cleave so much that you're covetous, right? Check yourself, man. Be here to build us up, not prove that you're one of us, not prove that you down and all this, but lift us up and we will love you for that. Cleave correctly. Don't cleave, with hatred and jealousy, and don't cleave to try to, limit our flow and our progress just because we don't, see you like you want us to see you or value whatever you bringing. Like, be patient and lift us up and help us get to our promised land. If you're going to let's get it right. But don't come just to cleave and cleave just so you have somewhere to call home, right? Cleave and give us support because you believe in the house of Jacob, man. Not because you're trying to prove you're part of the house of Jacob. That's covetous, man. And we can feel that energy a mile away. Who do we trust? Can we trust ourselves? Can we trust the stranger that wants to join our nation, our tribe? These strangers they talking about in Isaiah 14, they're the best of the best. This is the Top Gun level. this the Top Gun Maverick navigators. You know what I'm saying? These are the ones that navigated through all their hijacking, found righteousness, man, got the code in their heart. Like, that's amazing. So these are the type of strangers we rock with. They can cleave and they can lift us up and we can take care of each other and it's all good, right? They can understand that we are a separate people and that they're happy to cleave to the house of these separate people, but let these people be separate. Don't cleave so much that we don't get no separation. That's not cool. Don't cleave so much that you don't want us to have no private time, no secrets without you because you're supposed to be us. That's not cool. That's not cleaving. That's violating. That's stalking us. Don't stalk us and say you joining us. Cleave, you know what I'm saying, for the goodness of HaWah, right? Don't cleave to prove a point to yourself or, you know what I mean, whatever the case is. Cleave because you know you want to rock in the kingdom of the Creator with the people of the Creator that have chosen up, not chosen down. And if we ain't chose down, then it might be a good place for you to be. But if we choosing down, then it's chaos, right? And you don't want us choosing down because nobody wants no more chaos, man. Nobody wants no more chaos. You want this world of chaos or you want Jacob to be restored? With our restoration comes some love to you, but that don't mean you privy to every door we walk through. You know what I mean? Every temple we're in may not be for the stranger, right? The stranger might have to sit that one out because we are still who we are, a separate people. But joining yourself and cleaving, that doesn't give you the birthright of Jacob. But it can give you salvation, and maybe that's all you should really be grateful for, is that you were saved from destruction. Not that you are now one of us and have our birthright and we can't have no privacy without you. That's not the type of stranger you want to be. Be the type that gives us our space, allows us to congregate, and lift us up when it's time. Right? That's how we come together. That's how we vibe up. That's how we tribe up. Not with a stranger that's covetous and wants the house for themselves. You know what I'm saying? You come here to, you know, vibrate and activate and help us activate, help us see clearly. I'm taking my time making this point because that's exactly the type of situation, you know, over and over again, that's repeated over and over again, no matter what Nagas do. Strangers come in, try to take half of it. Right now you got Lord Jamar trying to defend hip hop because strangers, you know, have participated in it, supported it. They think it's theirs equally, right? These Nagas that just came out the gutter with it, you know what I'm saying? This beautiful genre and this flow, you know, it came from these American Nagas. And if any strangers participated, you know what I'm saying, break dance, whatever, they're still doing it in the flow of these Nagas. They didn't come with their own flow and, you know, bring their country to this. No, they came acting like Nagas, dressing like Nagas, talking like Nagas, dancing like Nagas, and they participated and they supported and they contributed. You could be a contributor without owning the situation, right? You can come and contribute to 432 The Jar Radio without owning 432 The Jar Radio. Let these Nagas own hip hop. Can they own it? Can we own a country of our own? Can we have America without you saying, yeah, but me too? Can we be native without you saying, yeah, but me too? Me too? That's jealousy, man. You jealous of these Nagas when they down? You jealous of these Nagas when they up? When does it ever stop? until you take everything, all our possessions, movable and immovable. You want to take hip hop now? Now Fat Joe going crazy on the FBA, not understanding they talk about foundational, quote unquote, black Americans. And we understand we dodged the hijack, but we talking about foundational niggas, man. We talking about natives, man. We still talking about originals, natives. So, the stranger wants to cleave to the house of Jacob. The people gonna take him in. The lucky ones, like the Baruch ones, will be taken in and brought to their place. And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of HaWah for servants and handmaids. Now, how much do you want to lift up the kingdom? How much do you want to serve the kingdom, right? Every kingdom has servants, people that serve. Even in Prester John had kings from other kingdoms that were serving him. You want Hawah's kingdom, or you want to keep serving Hijack City? See, these strangers are happy to serve in the house of the Creator. Hey, put me where you need me, man. Put me where you need me. You know what I'm saying? They're happy to offer their resources, offer their expertise, you know what I'm saying? Offer their knowledge. That's how you serve. We're not saying some, slaves like chattel slavery like the hijack do. We ain't saying we beating y'all with whips and torturing y'all and hanging your women upside down and pouring vinegar inside of them. We ain't saying we bashing your babies on the walls and throwing you into the alligators. We ain't saying that. We're saying you're serving just like we're serving, right? And they shall take them captives whose captives they were. That means that there's a rise happening. A rise, right? Deuteronomy 28. You hearken, you listen, you observe, you pay attention, you collapse the wave pattern on paradise, or you don't listen, you don't hearken, you don't observe, and it's all happening. The whole wave pattern is happening, which is good and evil, and it's all happening, and you're wondering why it's all happening, because you're not observing. And the particle knows when it's being observed, and the code is a particle, energy, frequency, vibration that knows when it's being watched. And in code, in commandment with HaWah, when that code is being watched, it watches over you. You can now be the head and not the tail. Because that's all you were ever supposed to be. Huh? We're talking about getting rest. HaWah will give us rest from our travail, from trouble, Jacob's trouble, right? From the hard service. We've done hard service, so you telling us you can't serve? You too proud to serve, hijack? Stranger? Cleveland? You don't want to serve? We've had to do hard labor in this penitentiary called the Corporation of the United States, right? Hard service. Wherein thou was made to serve, that thou shalt take up this parable against the king of Babylon, man. Oh, how hath our oppressor ceased? The exactors of gold ceased. The Lord broken the staff of the wicked, the scepter of the rulers that smote the people in wrath with an insistent stroke, perpetual slavery that ruled the nations in anger with a persecution that none restrain. The whole earth is at rest and it's quiet. Finally, right? Finally, cons. Halal HaWah, they break forth into singing, man. You want to be the head or you want to be the tail? Because if you listen, if you hearken, it shall come to pass that if you hearken diligently unto the voice, the frequency, the vibration, right? The voice of HaWah, to observe. A particle knows when it's being observed. The commandments knows when it's being observed. HaWah knows when HaWah is being observed. And therefore what? You will be set on high above all nations of the earth. Is this racist? Is this culture vultures? that when we keep the code, we get set on high, and you don't want to see us pass you by because you want to cleave without admitting that you're cleaving? You want to copy our flow, copy our style, copy our music, copy our lingo? This is coming from our heart bone. How come you're not making it up? How come you didn't pop this off? You telling me there'll be hip hop without these Nagas? How come you didn't pop it off? How come everybody in Puerto Rico ain't got a whole hip hop epicenter? How come it's not popped off, in their own way? Nah, it's happening because of these American Nagas, and you got your variations of it. You got reggaeton, you got all these other things, but it's coming from Nagas. It's coming from the root of the reggae, right? It's coming from the heart bone, from the soul music, right? All this creativity, all this writing, all this poetry, all this math and science, pyramid building, high-tech frequency, golden flying condors, cities of gold, right? Prester John, golden emerald scepter, Marvel character. Come on, man. You're talking Atlantis, you still talking Nagas. High-tech, high above all the nations. That's what happens when you keep the code. You get blessings on blessings on blessings on blessings. Blessings in the city, blessings everywhere. Bless. And we know what happens when we out of code. We get the curse. Why? Because that's what happens when you don't listen, right? But that shall come to pass if you will not listen to the voice of HaWah. Oh boy. These curses will overtake you, and this is exactly what happened. We got overtaken. And when we talk 68, HaWah will bring you back into Egypt. Well, we know. We already home. Being brought back in Egypt is bondage. Bringing you back into Egypt is bondage in ships. Wherever you go is Egypt if it's bondage, man. So don't get lost in the sauce. By the way of which I said unto you, thou shalt see it no more again. You weren't supposed to see perpetual slavery, doomed diverses, right? You weren't supposed to see perpetual slavery. You were supposed to keep the code. And you became a stranger on your own land. And even though you're on your own land, it's not yours. You're a stranger on it now, so it's not yours. So you got to be brought back into it. And there you shall sell yourselves unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, slaves, perpetual slavery. This is prophecy, and no man can redeem you. No man can buy you out. They've now applied and appropriated to themselves and their successors, your kingdoms, their descendants, right? But we're still here. We're still here, boss. Tribe of Israel still here. So you choose. I'm on my Amos flow, Hold up, man. I'm on my Amos flow. Because I'm thinking about the family, Amos 3. Hear this word that HaWah has spoken against you, O children of Israel, against the whole family, which I brought out of the land of Egypt, or bondage. Against you only have I known. HaWah. You only have I known, Khan. Is that racist? Or does HaWah have a tribe? Is HaWah tribal? Can we say, oh, the Creator exists and the Creator has a people that He's given His law, His vibration to, that everyone wants to claim as their own, but HaWah has only known the children of Israel, which is why you got control of the dragons, which is why they want to slay the dragon. With the creation of your opposites, that's the alchemy, the conscientio, the coming together of opposites. They have to create the opposites in alchemy to slay the dragon. So they sent their opposites on you right here in America, gave them land, gave them gold, gave them hookup after hookup to get ahead of you, to buy these big houses and steal your land. And then they cry when it all goes into, obliteration. They cry as if this is some forever slavery. Like they can take your land and your things forever, which ain't ever happened in the history of everdom. That some kingdom has ruled forever and made people slaves forever. What are you talking about? What happened to Rome? What happened to Greece? What happened to Egypt? Oh, Egypt is so great. What happened to him? HaWah happened, man. Now what happened to us? You about to witness it, man. Are you a witness? If you're a witness, then put witness in the comments, man. Let me see more where my witnesses are, man. Write witness in the comment. Where's my witnesses? To the children of Israel, the whole family, coming out of Egypt. You only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore I will visit upon you all your iniquities, all your transgressions, all your sins. Because you are mine, man. You my babies. You only have I known. You're my children. You serve me. I told you to wash the dishes. You serve me in my house. What are you talking about? So I gotta whoop your ass. I gotta put the belt on you, man. Cause timeout ain't working. I tried timeout, remember? That didn't work. You still got out of code. You still went after their Zeus, right? You still went after their hijacks. You still covetous. You still killing each other. Still bearing false witness. Still adulterous. Still not honoring your frame and your shape of your father and your mother. Will two walk together except that they agree? I can't rock with you. What are you talking about? You only have I known. You only have I known. Wow. Yeah. It's coming, right? Joel chapter 3. For behold, in those days, in that time, when I shall bring back the captivity, which means restore my people out of captivity, I will bring it back, right? I will take it away. Talking about Judah and Jerusalem, my people. I will gather all nations. I will bring them down to the valley of Jehoshaphat. Where is that? Could be around Utah. And I will enter into judgment with them there for my people and my heritage, Israel. For my people and my heritage, Israel. Saracens, Arab, Israelite, where X marks the spot, and Rus. So the Creator got a heritage. Is that racist? Is that culture vulturing? That the heritage is reawakening, rising up, kum, claiming who they are? When we claim Israel, then we offend all the issues, right? All the issues. When we claim American, we offend the so-called natives. We the only people that can claim who we are. Everybody go crazy just by claiming us. We can't be Israel. We can't have our own land. These Nagas deserve to be at the bottom in every society and country. They don't deserve the most richest, beautiful, fertile lands anymore to you. That means you ain't rocking with HaWah, because HaWah brings these people back. HaWah gathers Judah, right? HaWah gathers Israel, Jerusalem. HaWah gathers all nations to have a little chit-chat. And Jehoshaphat enters some judgment for my people and my heritage, Israel, whom they have scattered, man, among the nations and divided my land. We can't ask for our land back. Now you want to give us rights and citizenships? Ain't citizen have to do with slaves? Now you want to micromanage the people and teach them how to be a tribe again? Now you saying, don't give our land to blacks. Don't give our land to Saracens. Don't give our land to Israel. Is that what you're saying? I don't think you see clearly. This the year of the dragon. And even a little child, will be rocking, with their beautiful dragon, right? Even they'll be playing in the hole in the caves of the dragon lairs because it's their dragon. And I see why you fear people that have control of these dragons and the earth. I see why you fear the people that got control of the elements and rock with the Creator, because you only have I known, because the Creator has a heritage. I see why you're upset about the heritage of Israel. Hasharah, whom they scattered and divided the land and have cast lots for my people. You sold us into slavery. You came over here, Columbus and y'all hijacked Pope Nicholas and them, and you subdued the Saracen. You put us in perpetual slavery. You cast lots for my people and applied and appropriated to yourself and his successors, the kingdoms, dukedoms, counties, principalities, dominions, possessions, and goods, and converted them to your profit. Successors, huh? Descendants, huh? I want to be native again. I want to be, I want to be natural, man. Produced by nature. Yeah. I want to be born with the being, because I am born with wow, the being. I want to be natural. I want to be original again. Original. I don't want to be artificial. Fictitious. I want to be native. I want to be a native color. I want to be a copper color Khan, right? Born with the being. Original. They've cast lots for my people. Have given a boy for a harlot, sold a girl for wine, and have drunk. They are guilty. They can't run high enough, can't go low enough. These dragons will find them. There is no escape. So my Naga's feeling, man. We feeling the vibration.
Presidenta de México, Claudia Sheinbaum Pardo, signed two edicts into law, which are breathtaking to say the least. What she did and what she signed into the Mexican Constitution are two parts. The first part was that the indigenous people within Mexico of many different tribes will now have the ability to have their own sovereign nations. Now, bear with me here. So basically, a commission is set up.
You telling me now, just now, these indigenous, even not even the Afro-Indigenous, the indigenous just now are given the ability to have sovereignty? And does the sovereignty come with being separate from the corporation? Hell nah, because they still want to micromanage it.
To recognize those indigenous nations within Mexico and teach them and show them how they can rule autonomously and set up their own rulership.
Rule autonomously, and you're going to teach them to set up their own rulership. We can't choose our own rulers now, right? This is how they want to micromanage and control the Saracens, right?
Over their own people, because there's a lot of indigenous different tribes within Mexico. The second part of that edict that was signed into the Mexican Constitution recognizes, and hear me out here, Afro-Indigenous.
It seemed like it was hard for him to say that. Some people said in the comments, he's having a hard time getting this one out, man. He doesn't want to offend nobody. Afro-Indigenous or Afro-Mexicans. Because a couple articles we'll get for the dismount, you know, they specifically refer to them as Afro-Mexican peoples. Yeah. Mexico's president, Claudia Sheinbaum, this is PLEnglish.com, today signed a decree for publishing a constitutional reform granting full rights to indigenous and Afro-Mexican. But Afro-Mexican, Mexican is native, man, and native is original. So Afro-original wouldn't make sense. Why would Afro-native make sense? Because someone wants to take the title native. But if you said originals, they couldn't take that title. But a native is and always will be an original, man, right? Born with the being. So these people born with the being. Yeah, it's another one here. That's Claudia there. You know, I mean, it's a couple. It's AOL.com. It's a couple articles, man, to dig on, but Afro-Mexicans is a misnomer, just like African-American. But we know they're talking phenotypes and people with the afros, right? Okay, that's how they're distinguishing the Afro people. But the Mexican is the original, man. So just say the original people, yada, yada. But that means you're completely telling another group that they're not originals. But if you say natives, then they can still keep the native title. If you say indigenous and Afro-Indigenous or Afro, then they can still keep the indigenous title and put you into a subcategory of Afro-Mexican. They can keep the American title, right? And put us to a subtitle of Afro-American. They say Afro sometimes American, or they'll say African-American. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just saying the Americana, that's found here, which are the originals, which they say ab, but we know original, and are the copper color races. We're talking Israel, which is why he's going to bring it into the Bible, biblical stuff, and at the end say, you know, who are these black people? You know, where they come from? You know, are they the same people of Adam and Eve? Are they the same people of the promised land? Are they the Israelites? You know what I mean? Let's keep going.
So, and that basically states that written into the Mexican Constitution, it is now law that the Afro-Indigenous are recognized as full citizens of Mexico and are afforded their indigenous status. And then she went on to state that Mexico recognizes that Afro-Indigenous people were on this continent hundreds of years before the Spaniards stepped 1 foot on the soil.
So how can they run anything? How can they tell us anything? How can they punk us and tell us that we're recognizing you when we already been here? What do we care about their recognition if we already been here? That's invader talk. We recognize you. That's invader talk because you already here. We need to recognize you because you're clinging to us and our land and our resources, right? Our people, Isaiah 14, you're clinging to us, man. We're not over there trying to cling to you, tear down your kingdom and yada, yada, if you have one. But it seems like anything you have, you've stolen. And that's parasitic behavior. A parasite moving through the body goes from place to place, place to place. They need to, turn you into something, some version of them. That's what these so-called smart cities are about. What's the opposite of a smart city? A dumbass city, right? So they're trying to say, y'all got some dumbass cities. We're going to make them smart. Smart phone, smart meter, smart TV, smart, smart, smart. Dumb, 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 dumb. Reverse the spell. Break the curse.
It completely changes the narrative of what we've been taught. It completely changes the idea that Columbus was here and there's just Mexicans. It flips it right on its head. Everything is out the door. This is a very intelligent woman. And what she has stated are what people on different social media platforms have been saying for years. Black man was already here. Black man was already here. We didn't come in slave ships. That's not feasible. It would have taken too many ships. They would lose too many people. But if you're taken from Mexico, South America, and taken off the coast and sat off the coast for a couple months and then brought up and dropped off in Boston.
Or taken from Jamaica and dropped off in Alabama, you know what I'm saying? Something like that. Taken from Haiti, dropped off in Texas, and told that you from Africa. This is the lie that's being uncovered, man. Wakey, wakey, Mexicans, Moshe, Moses, priest, let go.
That makes it a hell of a lot more feasible, doesn't it? Afro-Indigenous were here hundreds of years before the Spaniards showed up. I'll put this into perspective. The English Bible, the most widely sold book in history, the Bible, New Testament, Old Testament, you can go back in that Bible to the beginning of time of man. Adam, Eve, his wife, conceived from the rib of Adam, and the Creator took that rib. Their children, Cain and Abel, and how that conflict and one brother slew the other. The creation of the earth, the waters, the fish in the deep, the firmament. Okay, enough Bible lesson for today.
But I like the firmament talk because that proves the Creator, period, point blank. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to, justify not having to, if they're on a spinning ball or a ball, have to constantly dip down the nose of an airplane as they're flying to one side of the world, to another side of the world. A pilot never has to keep dipping down to stay on the ball. They just keep going straight. They never keep dipping down, or else they fly off the ball. Because you're on a ball, you have to keep curving, man. But a pilot never curves and dips down the nose of the plane. There's a firmament. You dig? A pilot can't go too high, and a pilot, can't go too far without adjusting altitude. And after this, we're going to get some altitude drop just to show you what we're talking about. The firmament qualifies beyond a shadow of a doubt that you have a creator. I don't care how you look at it. There's an enclosure to a degree for a reason. You know what I'm saying? And you got waters above, waters below. Now with that creator talk, you have the people of the creator we can talk about. Now you got to understand that the creator's tribal. When he says, you only have I known of all the families, he's saying, I've only really congregated with y'all to give y'all the law so that you could be the light and they can cling to y'all. I don't have to show every nation. They're going to learn from y'all. You know what I'm saying? But y'all got to be in code, and I'm going to rock with y'all, and I'm going to show the whole world that my sanctuaries with the tribe of Israel in Jerusalem, in the promised land, that I'm going to put my foot down right here to make your enemies your footstool, to make you the head, not the tail, high above all the nations of the earth. I'm going to prove you. Just prove me. Keep the code. Observe, right? Be the head, not the tail.
But yet we can't go back before Columbus. What was the black man's history?
What was the original Khan's history? What's your real story?
How did he get here?
Who peopled America? This is their fundamental questions in academia. Who first peopled the America, and what happened to the tribes of Israel, right?
The Phoenician? The Israelite?
Bang! The Israelite is the American. The Israelite is the originals. Connected to the seed of Eber and then the Eberu, connected back to the Eve and Adam and anything else, man. Original. So you put all this together, you realize these people, Columbus and them, whoever, Cortez and Coronado and all these other hijacks, they invaded Israel. They invaded Jerusalem. They invaded the city of David, the city of Prester John, priest king, right? They invaded the promised land, and they're going to have to make recompense. They're going to have to pay up. And we keep saying the price is going up because the hijack can't buy their way out of this one. The hijack can't buy their way out of what's happening. The hijack can't buy their way out of this recompense, this judgment day, right? But we've been judged. The whole world's seen us be judged. And now they mad that we pop off and wake up and take our titles and claim our land. Is you crazy? We've been in so-called perpetual slavery. They taking our kingdoms, our dukedoms, our principalities, everything, right? And then we claim it back, and then you're mad that, oh no, blacks are coming for our land. Oh no, they're claiming natives. It's divide and conquer. Now y'all want to claim divide and conquer, but you never claim unity and succeed, success. Like, you can't claim divide and conquer if you never claim unity and victory. You never included us in your unity and your victory. You never said, no, you are the originals. You're the real. You never told us that, right? So there was never unity. You never treated us like brothers and sisters. Keep it real. You never fought on the front lines for us. Keep it real. Africa never fought on the front lines for us. No natives are fighting on the front line for us. Martin Luther King had a dream, and part of the Civil Rights Acts helped the Native Americans, so-called, helped these, other Hispanic, Latino, whatever. Everyone got hooked up in these, equality movements. You know what I'm saying? Black Panthers, everyone benefited from that. Everyone benefited, from hip hop. Everyone's benefiting off of us. We march, we fight, we die. They benefit. They still get the rights. They still get hooked up. It's not the other way around. You're not on the front lines making sure we straight. And then when we finally claim it back, you say, divide and conquer. What do you mean divide? You already divided us because you never unified us. There was no unity. What do you mean? Show me in history. Because these natives are Nagas. It's us helping us, if anything. And we claim it back and you say, no, don't take it from us. What do you mean? It was unlawfully given to y'all. Not by the law of the Creator. And you know it. And we all got to make recompense. We've already had to do it. Now y'all got to do it. You better stop tripping. You better code up and not be covetous about the children of Israel getting their things back, or else you're going to be on the wrong side of HaWah's story. And you don't want to be on the other side of the judgment, man. And somebody else say, oh, he keeps saying we. Hey, man, maybe he feel, or, you know, we don't know this, bro. You know what I'm saying? So if he's saying we, it's because he's claiming that he got some Nagaville. And I can't confirm or deny. I don't know the bro. So let him say we. You want to include, you want to graft into the tree, you want to claim, you want to claim, do it, man. But do it without the covetous in your heart bone. Make sure it's all legit. Make sure it's coming, you know what I'm saying, with the ahab, with the love. Because you see how we moving. We ain't over here, you know, taking nothing from nobody. We investigating, and that's shaking up the whole world. Claiming Hasharala, claiming Judah, claiming Israel, claiming our rightful place, our rightful birthright. To be native is to have a birthright. A rightful birth, a rightful, you know what I'm saying, connection, man. To be a Mexican is to be a native and original with a birthright. Natural being, a right by birth, natural by law, man. Yeah, Halal HaWah. We're talking to the originals. And if you're born with the being, then you have a birthright, because you're born with the being, so you have a right to the being. You have a right to be, not artificial, like these smart cities, right? You have a birthright, a birthright, a birthright, because you are native, natural, by law, man. And like I said, man, you know, they're granting the full rights, but are they granting the birthrights to the indigenous and Afro-Mexican peoples and communities in more than 50 indigenous languages? All right. So against the backdrop of human rights day, the president signed an additional document with the purpose of creating a presidential commission to monitor the due implementation of such plans. During the Shine Bomb's regular press conference, the Secretary of the Interior, Rosa Isela Rodriguez, recalled that for decades, Mexicans lived in a country where exclusion, discrimination, racism, oh yeah, classism and machismo were normalized. And you feel it coming out of them as soon as you claim or, you know, put your, you know what I'm saying, reality in their face. Here it comes. You know, it's like they hate that they even have to copy you. They hate that they even got to be in your wave. They don't really want to be in your wave. They just can't help but to be in your wave. And that makes them even more red. That's how much of a wave you got, man. That's that water, man. Man, starting in 2018, following the inauguration of former President Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador, the nation began to experience a transformation that made a priority of the citizens' well-being and vindicated their rights. The head of state stressed. She highlighted that human rights are respected by authorities and no repression and constitutional guarantees are protected. Yeah, man. I mean, look, y'all dig on it, see what's happening with Shine Bomb and what's happening, you know, with the Mexican, man. Con. So they're talking about the recognition, because as a hijack, they have to recognize the natural ones for some reason. They have to recognize us. There's one priority I think is fundamental that be approved in September, and that is in respect and recognition of indigenous and Afro-Mexican people. So she did say this. Some people say, oh, she didn't say that. Yeah, man. Just do your recon. Whether they say Afro-Indigenous or Afro-Mexican, a Mexican is a native of Mexico, and indigenous is also a native of Mexico. A Mexico is a native, and Afro is the earth. So you're native to the earth, you are original to the earth, is an indigenous. But these are the word plays of these titles, man. So miss me with the titles. Just know that we only has HaWah known of all the families of the earth, and that's enough for me. You call us what you want to. You know what's happening. You know what's happening. Yeah, man.